Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here with the latest Xdefiant news. We are just come off the X debrief and we now have the patch notes that is coming the 31st. And I'm really excited to see it. But look, I just want to firstly say that thank you so much to all the new subscribers. We're at 200 subscribers. It's a milestone for the channel and for me in general. And I'm just loving having the conversations with all you guys. Essentially just, chatting about the game, the good, the bad and the ugly, everybody giving their opinions. People are just not shitting on each other. They're actually giving good insights of kind of what their experiences are in the game, and I'm just really happy. And if you're new or a returning viewer, get involved. We'd love to have you here as well. Check out any of the other videos, all the other comments, and let's see how far we can take it. But anyway, we've got a new style of video today, and we are going to be looking at the new patch, which is Y1S1.3. Now, this doesn't actually fully go in depth on the changes coming to Ranked. I will link to the kind of video from Ubisoft in the description, but it does give us insights on the main priorities that they had for Ranked, and we're going to break all that down. There's also a couple of, surprises, if I'm going to be honest, which I didn't expect coming, but we got them anyway. There's obviously a couple of things that they did fix that a lot of people were asking for, and I think it is a good balance. But I will say that I think they might have dropped the ball on just referencing a couple of things that the community really wanted for them to come out and talk about. I wasn't too impressed with the debrief either. They did reference some good points that I had and I wanted to hear about, but most of it was just Ranked, which obviously needs to be improved as well. But look, let's get straight into the information. The first thing that we're going to break down is the fact that the XP boosters will no longer count down when you're in the practice zone, and they did increase the ADS sensitivity for controllers so that aiming up and down is more consistent with aiming left and right. They also tweaked the Ranked mode for pre-game. Ranked matches won't start unless there's 8 players, and the leave button has also been fixed from the actual map voting screen to discourage players from dropping out basically, and then ranked matches will cancel if players manage to skedaddle during the map voting. So like if you do leave, they will cancel the match and try get that full 8 party to get in, so you won't go in with that 3v4 or 2v4 mentality anymore. So you're not going to be suffering on your rank points, and you're going to be able to progress as quick as possible, which is a great thing. It's one of the main issues that people were complaining about outside of kind of the stacking of phantoms, and I think one of the changes kind of looks at that as well. It's another faction that they kind of changed up a bit, which I was extremely surprised at, and I don't think a lot of people were expecting this change to come into the game either. But I want to just kind of quickly reference the fact that there's not a lot of changes that have been mentioned when it came to hit reg, the desync, just the game in general on the state that it's in. And I think they dropped the ball on this one. I was not impressed for them not to even acknowledge it. But look, we do move on, and we're going into some of the surprises that I got anyway after reading this patch. Basically, we have a faction change as well. Echelon suits now only reveal enemies through walls for the players wearing it. All enemies will be seen on locations on the minimap. Dead Sex spoiler bots obviously have been nerfed. The fact that they were shocking people before they leapt onto the face was an issue, but now they only shock you when they're in the face hugging stage. Weapons, basically the rapid fire barrel and the muzzle booster attachments have now caused less recoil on some weapons, which is the ACR and AK, and which is not intended, so they do cause the recoil as intended. They reduced the MP7 mag from 35 to 30 and also from 875 to 850. Update the iron sights in the Lovok. And then also the extravaganza shotgun balancing is coming. So yes, we got a full overhaul of shotguns, which, let's be honest, it does make sense. Shotguns were probably the hardest grinded class, or should I say set of weapons that people were coming across in this game, and just in general in these styles of games. Shotguns just weren't great. Like, shotguns aren't great in Call of Duty. Shotguns were never great in these type of kind of games. So to see them kind of give them some more of a buff, it is great to see. Hopefully they're more usable. Now I will say the shotgun kind of buffs and changes. They're pretty standard across all shotguns, bar 1 or 2 or some degrees by 0.1 or 2. So I'm not going to break all of that down. So what you're going to see in the next one is pretty much across the board for all shotguns. They didn't go crazy in depth. They basically needed a blanket across all the shotguns. So that's what you're going to get. So for the M870, they kind of increased the range, the short range from 10 to 13, medium range goes from 15 to 18, and then the sprint out time basically reduces from 250 to 200. Obviously you can see the hip fire spread, aim spread range, they're all there. You can pause the video at any stage. And then they also did do the crouch slide, in air and mantle hip fire spread is reduced by 40%. Also just want to notify that the aim spread basically range was reduced by 18%, and then the crouch slide, mid air and mantle was obviously decreased from 3.4 down to between 2.5 to 3 degrees. As I just said, these are basically the same across all the shotguns, so I'm not going to sit here and talk about like decimals across it. I will obviously point out the ranges, and if you feel free to stop at any stage if this interests you, but I want to circle back to seeing the fact that the echelon even got more of a nerf. Now you won't be able to see anybody through walls if your team is using it. It's only going to be you, the individual player, and they will be shown on the minimap, which will make it harder for when you're playing with someone with the echelon, which is kind of fine anyway. But I think that will be a bit of a change for, as we say, the casual player. Maybe some players rely on that to get a couple of kills. Not me, to be really honest. You know, the kind of intel suit was a bit of a crutch when you first start playing this game because it was extremely OP. But right now, you know, it's fine. I can see how much that will contribute to ranked, and I can understand why it needed to be done to contribute into ranked. Hopefully they can have a couple of more changes like this. But that's just kind of where we stand. As I said, the AA12 short range increased from 7 to 10, medium range 10 to 15, hip fire spread range reduced by 10%, and aim spread range reduced by 13, and pretty much only decimals have changed in between that from the previous shotgun. So that's kind of what I'm covering. But I just think when it comes to the XD brief, it was obviously really based around the rank mode, because they want top streamers and content creators to play this game, because what I'll do is it will incentivize their player base, their fan base to want to play this game as well. It's like anything else. If they're playing it, I want to play it, and that's what they're looking for. And ranked is there for really top skilled players to play as a team. They want to obviously be in esports. They want to be competitive in that type of arena. And then also, if you do want to use casual and you're playing solo, you can jump into casual. But ranked is mainly based around a team effort. If you're going into ranked on solo, you obviously know the difficulty within it as well. But we do move on. Basically, double barrel and sawn off, pretty much the exact same thing. You know, short range increase 12 to 15, medium range, and so on. They're literally identical. Feel free to pause it at any stage. I didn't feel like the shotguns were a hot topic for me anyway. I don't think they will be highly used across the game, even with these buffs. I think there obviously certain maps they will kind of work with, but not all maps. And just with the maps, I just want to say we are getting the introduction of Daytona, which is kind of one of the linear maps, and what we'll get is a 24/7 playlist for all new maps, same way we got it for Clubhouse. We're going to get it for all maps. They did mention that in the XD brief, which I was great to see. Hopefully they can introduce other maps with a 24/7 playlist. I love Arena. That's what I'm clamming for, is Arena. I love Arena. I don't know about anyone else, but I love it. Let me know actually your favorite map down in the comments. That'll be pretty cool to see. That would be a healthy debate. And we also have miscellaneous that coming through as well. Essentially the sticky grenade is now fixed, so if you throw it and die, it will explode. Then the cursor no longer shifts on the second monitor, and then obviously the KD ratio is probably shown as well. That was a big issue for some people, especially after you play the game as well, to see your KD and what you had. But that is kind of where we're at right now. As I said, I think this update is very lackluster. This probably could have been done in with the other patch. Maybe obviously they had to focus a lot more time on ranked obviously, and was the main priority for this patch. But as I said, they just didn't really acknowledge anything else outside of obviously capping the ping. They did mention that in the XD brief, the fact that, you know, people have been obviously playing in different regions, which wasn't intended, and it was something that they wanted to fix. So they are going to cap the ping for people when they're joining lobbies, so you don't kind of get that crazy high ping, playing against other people in the regions that you should be playing against. And that is kind of really all of it. If you want, obviously I can break down more of the in-depth details on ranked from the XD brief, but right now I don't really think that is needed. But guys, look, at that is basically all from me. I really appreciate the support. As I said, if you're new or a returning viewer, get involved with us, have a conversation, let me know what your thoughts are on these changes. Are they good enough? Did they miss or drop the ball? Anyway guys, that is all from me. I will catch you on the next one.